Perek Rishon of Pirki Avos Mishnah Beis. Shimon Hatzadik hoya mishirei Knesset Agdela. Shimon Hatzadik was from the last ones of the Knesset Agdela. Let's first analyze this first line, who he was, his titles that he has, and then to read his statement that he gave. Who was Shimon Hatzadik? Shimon, his father was, there are two opinions, whether his father was Yeshua Kohen Gadol, which is mentioned in Ezra, or another opinion that his father was Chonye, or Rishon. Now, in the Rabbi, the Sefer HaKabbalah writes that his original name was Eidoi. Eidoi ben Yeshua, and Eidoi is Shimon. That's what he writes. Shimon Hatzadik had three children, Chonye, Shimi, and Yochanan. Yochanan was the father of Matisyahu. Matisyahu had 5 children of the Maccabees: Elazar, Yehuda, Yochanan, and Yonasan, and Shimon. Shimon, then the son of Matisyahu, was named after his grandfather, Shimon Hatzadik. So this is Shimon Hatzadik, who he was. He was, the passage says, the Mishnah says Shimon Hatzadik. Why he was called Tzadik? And what period, what that he changed, the name was, the title was named after him. I tried to research and I couldn't find a pirush to give us when he was called Tzaddik, if it was a particular story. But the Mepharshim bring down that he was a Tzaddik. What a Tzaddik means? A Tzaddik means that a person who does something for other people, a person that gives from himself, not only thinks about himself, but thinks about others, that's a Tzaddik. And that we find soon that he did. So the Mishnah started saying Shimon Hatzadik. Before we say any further, you have to mention why isn't there any title to him? Rabbi Shimon, Rebbe Shimon, Rav Shimon. And the Mepharshim give that we know that the Nevi'im didn't have any titles. Yecheskel HaNovi, Shmuel HaNovi. We don't say Rabbi Shmuel or Rabbi Cheskel. So this first generation of the Rabbonim after the Nevi'im also called by the first name. The next generation, they call themselves Rabbim. And the next generation, Rebbe. And the first generation is Rav. But Shimon Hatzadik was from the early generation. As you see in this first Perek of Pirki Avos, Shimon Hatzadik, Antignes, Yesod ben Yezer, Yochanan, they don't have a title of Rav because that was the most respectful way by calling out the name, as it says, Gadol Rav Shmoy. Where do we find his tzidkis at Tzadik, Shimon Hatzadik? I'll mention 2 stories that Chazal tell us and then talk a little bit more about Shimon Hatzadik. Shimon Hatzadik was a Kohen Gadol for 40 years. 40 years a Kohen Gadol. The Gemara tells us while there was a Kohen Gadol, every year they come to Yom Kippur, they put two lotteries to know which animal will go to the Mizbeach Hashem, which one goes thrown down the cliff of Azazel. And it was a thing that if it came out in his right hand, Lashem, that's a kosher thing. 40 years of Shimon's Kohen Gadol period, it always came out in his right hand, the ticket for the Sor Lashem. Also, the Ner Maravi, the western candle of the menorah, never extinguished throughout the whole time of his being Kohen Gadol. So we have something special about him being a Kohen Gadol for 40 years. This story happened that the Chazal tell us when there was the Kusim went to say a Mesira against the Yidden, and they said that the Yidden are rebelling against Alexander Mugden. They're rebelling against him, and they convinced the Alexander Mugden. So Alexander Mugden gave them the pass. You could do with the Yidden as they want. So the Kusim went and they tried to kill Yidden and destroy Beis Hamikdash. When Alexander Mugden came against Eretz Yisrael, against Yerushalayim, to destroy Beis Hamikdash, Shimon Hatzadik heard that he's coming. He got dressed in a big kahuna, and he had the elders of the Yerushalayim walking with him. They walked the whole night with torches in their hand towards Alexander Mugden, who was coming from Mitzrayim. And walked the whole night. In the morning, Alexander Mugden was riding on his horse, and he sees a group of people, the distinguished person of Shimon Hatzadik. And he sees his image, and he asked the Kutim who was with him, who are those? So they told him, these are the Jews who rebel against you. When he came closer and Alexander Mugden saw the image of Shimon Hatzadik, he went down off his horse and he bowed down to Shimon Hatzadik. And his people said, you're bowing down to a Jew? She says, yes, I had a lot of wars, and all my wars, when I go to war, I see his image, and that gives me strength, and to that I win the war. Alexander Lubin asked Shimon Hatzadik, why are you here? He says, I'm here because we are the people in our house of prayer. We pray for your safety of your kingdom, that you should win the war, all wars, and you should have all shalom, all peace with you, and you want to destroy that? So Shimon convinced Alexander Lubin that the Jews are not rebelling against them, and he reversed his opinion. Alexander Lubin told the Jews, now you can do with the Kutim as well, whatever you want. And they went to Hargrizim, the Jews, and they destroyed the temple of the Kutim in Hargrizim. Another story is told that from that moment on, Shimon Hatzadik and Alexander Lubin became very friendly. One time, Alexander Lubin wanted to bring a matana to the Yidden, and he built a beautiful statue of gold, an image of himself, Alexander Lubin. And he came with that image and he told Shimon Hatzadik, I would like to give you a present, but I would like to have my image and my statue in Beis HaMikdash. Now everybody else got all confused. Shimon Hatzadik went to him and explained to him that L'Sasa Kol Pesach, there's no images at all in Beis HaMikdash, we're not allowed to put an image. But instead of that, what he did was he said, every Jew that's going to have a son born this year will name your name Alexander. And from then on, Alexander became a Yiddish name. Alexander ascended the Yiddish name because Shimon Hatzadik told him that we're not going to put any pesach tmuna, any image, any statues, but the name Alexander will become a Jewish name, and your name will be remembered forever here by the Jews. So you have here the tzidkis, I said the Eden several times from the Goyim, Shimon Hatzadik. Perhaps that's why it's called Tzadik. The year that the last year that he became Gadol, he came out of the Yom Kippur, and he said to his Talmidim and his family, and he said, I'm going to pass away. I'm going to die this year. Why? He says, every year when I go into Kodesh HaKadoshim, with me comes in an elder person all dressed in white, and when I finish my Avodah, he comes out. This year when I went in, there was an elder person dressed in black, but didn't come back out with him. And actually, Chazal tell us that after Sukkot, he became ill. 7 days later, passed away. And the Messiah is that his yahrzeit is Chav Tes Tishrei, and his Mokum Kfur and Mokum Menucha is outside of Yerushalayim. So that's Shimon Hatzadik. Shimon Hatzadik. In his lifetime, he did 2 of the Poradumas. The Rambam writes that the totally is going to be only 10 Poradumas. The 10th is going to be when Mashiach comes. The first was Moshe Rabbeinu, and he did 2 of the Poradumas. So what does he say? Shimon Hatzadik Hoya Mishirei Knesset Gdola. He was the last one who left over from the Knesset Gdola. Why did it stop the Knesset Gdola? And who were they? The Knesset Gdola was in the time of the first Beis HaMikdash. They had a great assembly of 120 Rabbanim. And 120 Rabbanim, from those Rabbanim were the heads, were Levim, Chadish, Chadi, Malachi, were the heads of the Knesset Gdola. Ezra Sefer, Mordechai from the Megillah Esther, they were part of the Anshe Knesset Gdola. They came right after the Nevi'im, as it says here, when Nevi'im is still Anshe Knesset Gdola. So they were changed. The Nevuah stopped, no more Nevuah, but as the Gemara tells us, Nevuah stopped, but they still had Basquel. And that was the time of Anshe Knesset Gdola. Anshe Knesset Gdola, they saw that a change in relationship between Kedusha, between Nevuah and the people. So they were the one who set up the Nusach of Tefillah. And all the people that were to connect to the Eibishter through davening, they made this Nusach of Tefillah was the Anshe Knesset Gdola. Now, the end of the period of Anshe Knesset Gdola was the period of Shimon Hatzadik, Mishirei Knesset Gdola. Interesting that when he was part of the Anshe Knesset Gdola, it was a time when the rulership of Yisrael was Poras, the Parsian. And later on, the Yevonim ruled over Yerushalayim. So Shimon Hatzadik's time was changed between the rulership of Yisrael, Parsian, to the rulership of Yevonim. When the Parsian left and Yevonim came, they changed all kinds of organizations. One of the organizations that they changed, they dismantled the whole idea of a Knesset Gdola. And therefore they changed to a new kind of group. Now, by the Yevonim, started the idea of a Sanhedrin. Before that, it was Knesset Gdola, and then there was Sanhedrin. Interesting that throughout the whole time, we don't have anything mentioned about the Kohen or Kohen Gadol being a leader of the Anshe Knesset Gdola or of the Nevi'im or Sanhedrin. Even more so, here's a question. Here we mention Shimon Hatzadik, Hoya Meshir Knesset Gdola, but we don't even mention that he was a Kohen Gadol. We haven't paid a Gimel Pirki of Chninas Gana Kohenim. But why don't we mention that he's a Kohen Gadol? Similarly, that Kohen Gadol, being part of Anshe Knesset Gdola, wasn't necessary to be a Kohen Gadol, but he was a Kohen Gadol. So what do we have here? What did he say here? It says here, Al Shloisha Dvarim Ha'olam Oimer. On three things that the world, the pillars are three pillars of the world. The world needs three pillars. And the Rebbe asked the question, what does it mean? Does it mean the world that Hashem created itself is shaky? It needs pillars to hold it? Yes. As we know, the Chazal tell us that hadn't they even taken the Torah, the Eibishter would return the whole world back to north. So there's a world, and then there's pillars of the world. The Rebbe asked by a Sikha, the Rebbe asked a question. When you say pillars, it means the pillars are upholding the world. The world is higher than the pillar. How can we say that the Olam is higher than Torah Aved Mils Chasadim? The Rebbe answers yes, because the whole purpose of creating the world is Dira V'Tachtainim. That is the purpose. So the world has to become a dwelling place for Hashem. In order to make that world a dwelling place for Hashem, you have to have Torah Aved Mils Chasadim. But the Torah Aved Mils Chasadim are the pillars whereupon the world stays on them. Torah is learning, Aved is serving Hashem. In the time of Beis Mikdash was Kabbanis, after Beis Mikdash was davening, and some people should say Aved means literally working, being occupied, doing some physical labor. As we know, Teilim Derech. And then it's Gemilas Chasadim. Gemilas Chasadim means not only giving tzedakah, but helping people, even people who are not poor, but help the people. And the Gemara tells us that if a person gives tzedakah, he's blessed with six blessings. But if you give a person a good word with its tzedakah, 11 brachas. Rabbi Yoina says Gemilas Chasadim not only means giving something from words, giving something, some help financially. Even if you give some good words, a good advice, that's called Gemilas Chasadim. And Rebbe says, Ashleisha Dvarim Ha'olam Oimed. Ha'olam not only is the world, Ha'olam means the person, Ha'olam HaKotan, Ha'olam Kotan Ta'odam. The person, the world itself, the person itself also has to be perfected. How do you perfect the world? Torah Avodah Gemilas Chasadim. By learning, and by davening, and by doing good deeds. Interesting again to mention, that even though Shimon Hatzadik was a Kohen and a Kohen Gadol, he doesn't put first Avodah. He should put first Avodah because he's a Kohen and a Kohen Gadol. He puts first the Torah. Torah is first, and then Avodah. And some say that's why we mentioned that he's part of Knesset Gdola, part of the group who dealt with learning. And that's what got him to be part of that group. Not only because he was a Kohen Gadol, that didn't make him part of the group. But we have here to change the world, to make the world a Dira V'Tachtainim. We need the three pillars. The Rebbe said the three pillars is right, left, and center. Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim are the pillars, the foundation upon which the world stands on, and the world can be changed to be a better world, a world ready for Mashiach. When we do our Avodah, the Olam Kotan, our small world, to be changed our world for Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim, and the large world, Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim.